insist on it too strong, but ponder it. Ponder it. See what God will show you out of these lines. To learn of God by observing people. Yeah, think about it. People are not to be ignored. God is in them. To discover God by discovering the value of people. Don't tell me you believe in God and don't believe in people, and you think everybody is a skeptic. No, no, that reflects your attitude toward God. To connect with God by relationship with people. Say, I like it. Tell me some more. Okay, I'm glad you asked. Communicate with God by rapport with people. You ever thought of that? Don't tell me you can talk to God when you can't talk to people. Don't tell me God turns you on when people turn you off. No. We find God. Jesus said, what you do to the least of these people, you do to me. Our mission is to glorify God. How? By putting up our hands. That's good. We do that. But no, by esteeming people. That glorifies God. You ever think of that? We can't run around criticizing, condemning everybody, and then come and glorify God. No, that don't work that way. I'm talking about our mission of healing. The world needs healing. You don't need religion, it needs healing. To honor God by valuing people. To love God by honoring people. To walk with God by walking with people. You ever think of that? Yeah, that may give you a new slant on things. Think it over. Don't make a doctrine out of it. I'm just trying to think of something to stir you up on this fire conference. Make you go home happy with new ideas, something to preach about, something to motivate you to study the scriptures and preach better. See? Our mission. We're saved and we become saviors. We're healed and we become healers. We're lifted and we become lifter-uppers of people. We're blessed and we become blessers. For some mysterious reason, I grasped that concept early in life. I was saved at the age of 12. I began to preach in the little country church at the age of 15. I was married at the age of 18. I became a missionary to India, Daisy and I did, at 21 and 22. Why? Simply because we didn't have a call or anything, but we just felt they needed what we knew about Jesus more than people in our country, so we went to them. We went to the needy people. We failed because we didn't know much. But we came home, and when we came home, God was merciful to us and knew it was our ignorance. You know, we were brokenhearted. We loved the people. We wanted to help them. We saw the millions of people, but we came home brokenhearted. But we learned the most valuable lesson that I can imagine. We learned that Christianity is a miracle way of life. And without miracles, Christianity is only a philosophy. Bishop Reed from England says, no Jesus, no miracles, no Jesus. He harps on that. That's a good thing to harp on. We came home brokenhearted, and that was when the Lord was very merciful to us. We wanted to find someone that knew about miracles because we didn't know about it. We had prayed for sick people in our ministry before. We were Pentecostal. but nothing happened, and that I can remember. And so we hadn't seen miracles, and we were heartbroken. But we saw the most important thing. We saw the masses of people.
If this video has touched your life, make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and click the bell to stay updated on what God is doing at Shake the Nations Ministries.
And the emptiness of religion, dead religion, that affected us for life. So when we came home, we wanted to find someone that knew about miracles. We heard about Smith Wigglesworth. We were going to go to his meeting, and he died. So we heard about Amy McPherson. We had heard about her. We were going to go to the temple and see those big cases of stretchers and crutches and canes and all that stuff. And she died just before we went. And so we were near the Assemblies of God campgrounds in Oregon, at Brooks, Oregon. So we heard the good news that Dr. Charles Price was going to be the speaker that year. So we were going to go. He was a miracle man. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. We had taken a whole stack of his Golden Grain magazines with us to India and so we were anxious to hear him, and he died. 3 in a row, right when we were in agony looking for anybody with miracles, and he died. And so then they told us that Hattie Hammond was going to preach, was going to be the speaker. So we thought, well, we'll go. It's not very far. We'll go listen to her. And that woman, a great woman of God, we didn't know her before. We hadn't heard of her. A great woman of God, probably the greatest woman preacher the Assemblies of God ever had. She was one of the great instrumentalities of bringing Pentecost into the historic church denominations. Very talented woman. And she preached on the subject, if you ever see Jesus, you'll never be the same again, out of John chapter 1. Everybody running to see Jesus and getting somebody, bringing them to see Jesus. And we went home weeping, wiping tears to watch the road. And the next morning, at 6 o'clock, Jesus walked in our bedroom, and I saw him. As the first of 4 visions, God gave me 4 visions. I don't tell this often because I don't want people to chase visions. I needed something. I didn't have the kind of teaching you have. Today, we have truth, marvelous truth. We don't need to chase visions, but I needed something. And I saw Jesus when he came in the room. It changed my life forever. I lay there from 6 o'clock in the morning until 2 o'clock in the afternoon before I could move. When I came out, I took Daisy in my arms. I said, honey, we're not preaching a dead religion. We're preaching a living Christ. He's risen. He's Lord. I knew he was alive. It changed my life forever. And that's as fresh today as ever. And right on the heels of that, a man of God came to Portland. All the churches of Portland put on a big joint healing campaign, which was a very rare thing to do back then. And all the people came. 8,000 people packed that big auditorium. And this man came and preached the gospel in such a simple way. And when he made me think of Jesus. He was so simple in his presentation. When he made an invitation for people to be saved, hundreds of them came forward. I wanted to do that. I lived for that. And so God let us see that. And when I watched him, and then he prayed for the sick, and miracles took place, and I watched him, and I had my second vision. I saw Jesus in a person. I saw Jesus in that man. That's where he is. That's where he works. That's where he ministers. That's where he lives today. He was in a Jew, but now he's in you. You understand that? Never forget that. Never forget that. And so So that was the second vision. So we were so overwhelmed with the magnitude of this demonstration that we saw before our eyes. We didn't go to bed. We opened our Bible, sat down at our breakfast table, and began to read. And that's where we found all of these scriptures that are in the New Testament. We read the Bible through every year, but we missed all these verses. We missed them. And we found that Jesus had given to his followers power and authority to cast out devils and to heal the sick and to cleanse lepers. He gave it to them. They had it. They could go do it. They went out and proved it, come back and said it works. And we were overwhelmed, and that was the third vision. We saw Jesus in his word. And we looked at each other goggle-eyed and said, well, there's nothing left for us to do but to do something about it. We've got it figured out. It's true. Let's do it. So we ran ads in the paper and invited the people to church to bring the sick. They brought them, and we